Do you have difficulties having calm, stable, intimate relationships? Do you get clingy? Do you have difficulties being alone? In this video, I'll explain where this comes from and how to work on it, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome to Becoming an Expert at Self-Leadership. I'm Maika, I'm a psychologist, and back to explain another repetition compulsion, psychological schema, or emotional addiction, this time the one to abandonment. Do you repeat a pattern of abandonment? If you repeat a pattern of abandonment, you're most likely too clingy in relationships. Your thoughts and actions in relationships revolve around your fear of losing the other person. You resort to unhelpful coping strategies that make the relationship unstable and may even drive the other person away, push them into withdrawal. And this then reconfirms your original sense of abandonment. Things that are natural to happen in relationships, like your partner going on a business trip, trigger intense feelings in you. You quickly jump to the conclusion that whatever natural thing it is your partner is doing means that they don't love you, that they don't want to be with you, and that they're on the verge of breaking up. Instances that are a natural part of any relationship that trigger your fear of abandonment can be your partner expressing something that makes them different from you, them addressing something uncomfortable that they'd like to discuss, them disagreeing with you on a random topic, or your partner needing some time for themselves. All of that is a natural part of healthy relationships, but to you, it'll seem like danger, threat, like you're losing them, and you'll probably then seek your partner's reassurance that they still love you. Where does this come from? A repeating pattern of abandonment starts with an experience of abandonment, mostly in childhood. In all likelihood, you were actually abandoned as a child by a caregiver. This could mean that someone left or died when you were young, but it can also mean that you weren't abandoned physically, more emotionally, that your caregivers weren't able to be present emotionally consistently due to whatever problems they were battling. Another possible scenario is that you experience frequent changes in who your caregivers were. This happens when people go through foster care, when they are raised by nannies or attend boarding schools. It could also be that you were abandoned emotionally in the sense that something else caught the attention of your parents, like a new romantic interest or a new baby, and they scaled down the attention that they gave you. Stepping out of abandonment into security. You can work on this pattern on several levels. And first, it's essential to increase your awareness of it. Sometimes change happens really quickly, but mostly it takes a while. So while you're at it, while you're working on changing this pattern, whenever you notice that you're in the cycle of expecting or recreating abandonment, pay attention to what's going on. What do you feel in your body? Which emotions are you experiencing? What's going on in your mind? Which thoughts do you notice? What do you focus your attention on? What do you feel urged to do by this pattern? As soon as you step into a mode of observing, you create a healthy distance to your pattern of recreating abandonment. And that makes it easier to be with this pattern and learn more about it, what triggers it, and how it plays out. Collect a list of unhelpful behavior this pattern urges you towards, like seeking excessive reassurance, contact, or attention, accusing your partner of not loving you, checking on your partner or testing their affection, guilt-tripping your partner into staying close, or in some other form making high demands on your partner's time. If you have a list of this unhelpful behavior, it becomes easier to be aware of it and not get caught up in it. It also, again, helps to observe the urge to engage in this behavior build up like a wave, and then without engaging in that behavior, watching the wave of that urge ebb off again. Urges don't only go away when we give in to them, but also just by letting time pass. If you're dating, reflect on the types of partners you're usually drawn to and how your pattern of recreating abandonment negatively influences your choice of partners. This usually looks like feeling the most chemistry and attraction for people that give off a vibe of connection mixed with the potential of abandonment right from the start. Make a resolution not to enter these types of relationships anymore where it's pretty clear that they'll be unstable right from the beginning. And give stable relationships a chance. They're not boring like your pattern may make it seem. Rather, they're the fundament for contentment and stability in relationships. If you're in a relationship, learn to make room for natural aspects of relationships like difficult conversations, boundaries, individuality, and time spent apart. The more you practice, step by step, the less these events will throw you into a spiral of anxiety, shame, sadness, and or anger. And last but not least, learn to talk to yourself in a way that supports you whenever this pattern of abandonment is active. This can sound like, the reason this situation is so overwhelming for me is because subconsciously, it's triggering a lot of very old fears, memories, and expectations from the past. None of this is applicable to the current situation. The current situation doesn't warrant these extreme feelings. I accept and make room for the fact that they're here. At the same time, I won't allow them to dominate me. I will hold these emotions with warmth and kindness, and then step back into the present to continue engaging in the here and now. It can also help to trace these feelings back to a memory in your past when you had these feelings a lot at first. And then to step into that memory as the adult that you're now and talk to your past self, your inner child then. You may say things like, I can see that you're really sad and lonely right now. You're looking out of the window, hoping Dad will come back. Let me give you a hug. I'm here with you now. Or you can also talk in encouraging ways to yourself in the present and remind yourself of what you know to be true. My partner has withdrawn into the other room to be alone. This decision does not contain any negative information about me or our relationship. In fact, this is a good sign that he, she, they feel so comfortable and secure in our relationship that they'll take care of themselves when they need to. He, she, they have the right and need to be alone sometimes. This is their way of recharging their batteries in certain ways. I want them to have that opportunity. I will learn to enjoy alone time too. It'll do me good to give my nervous system the chance to wind down. The worth of investing into your inner health and well-being like this is beyond measure. Take it on in small steps at a time and allow your progress to accumulate slowly over time. In a few months or a year, you'll look back and not even recognize yourself when it comes to your sense of security in relationships. Till next time, take care and remember, just because you have the hunch that you'll be abandoned doesn't mean you actually will be. Especially if you learn to let go of the unhelpful coping strategies that strain relationships. You don't have to be perfect at this. Good enough is enough. A healthy relationship can carry a certain amount of baggage from the past, especially when it comes with awareness and the willingness to work on yourself over time.